Hi everyone, I have a hopefully short video about a parable that was mysterious to me for a while, and I prayed, and the Lord showed me something really cool, and I wanted to share it with you. So Matthew 13:33 says, "Another parable he spoke to them: The kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal until it was all leavened." And I pointed out that word there, measures, in the Greek, it's I'm going to say sata, which is a Greek word that means a Hebrew seah. So this is 3 seahs of meal. And so I remember this passage from Zechariah 5, and it says, and so Zechariah is speaking to an angel, and I said, "What is it?" And he said, "This is an ephah that goeth forth." He said, "Moreover, this is there," and I wrote, "whose resemblance through all the earth." I want to point out that an ephah is a Hebrew measure of volume, which is 3 seahs. So this is a woman took and hid leaven in 3 seahs of flour, of meal, and this ephah is 3 seahs. So these 3 seahs in one group, then one lump that goeth forth. He said, "Moreover, this is their resemblance throughout all the earth. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah." So there's a woman there, and he, the angel, said, "This is wickedness." And he cast it into the midst of the ephah, and he cast the weight of lead like a lid upon the mouth thereof. So it was sealed in this basket, this ephah of flour, with a lead cover. And he looked, and behold, there came out 2 women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had the wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Then I said to the angel that talked with me, "Whither do these bear the ephah?" And he said unto me, "To build it an house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base." Shinar is the name for the whole region of Babylon. So I'm pointing out here that who is the woman in this parable? The kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which Jesus said is the false doctrine of the Pharisees and Sadducees, which a woman, and I'm saying here that the woman is wickedness, took and hid because wickedness didn't want the flour that it was being hid in to know that it was false doctrine, because if they would have known, they would have repented. In the 3 measures, the 3 seahs of meal, till it was all leavened. So there was an ephah of flour, and it got false doctrine hid in it. And for some context, Paul talks about this issue, and Jesus did too, in a few places. So 1 Corinthians 5, 6-8, "Your glorying is not good. Do you not know that a little leaven leavens the whole lump? Therefore purge out the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, since you truly are unleavened. For indeed Christ our Passover was sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast," he means the feast of unleavened bread, which is one of the 7 feasts of God, "not with the old leaven, nor with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth." And just a few more. "You ran well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth?" He's talking to those people in Galatia who were obeying the party of the circumcision. This persuasion that they needed to be circumcised does not come from him who calls you, Jesus. A little leaven leavens the whole lump. So false doctrine is again here represented as leaven. And the point is if you let it spread, it will leaven the whole lump. And then you have leavened bread and not unleavened bread. And God commanded to get all the leaven out of your houses, and to be unleavened bread for 7 days as part of the festival. Anyway, and Jesus himself said, "How is it that you do not understand? I do not speak to you concerning bread, but to beware the leaven of the Pharisees and Sadducees." Then they understood that he did not tell them to beware the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and Sadducees. So this is Jesus saying the kingdom of heaven is like 3 measures of flour that a woman, wickedness, hid false doctrine in till it was all leavened. Why would he say that? Well, the same reason that he would say the kingdom of heaven is like unto a mustard seed, which was thrown into a garden, and then when it grew up, it became a large plant that even the birds of heaven can nest in its branches, and it filled up the whole earth. Because that's a reference directly to Daniel. There was a great tree, and all the birds of heaven nested in its branches. That tree was Nebuchadnezzar, and it was the tree of Babylon. See, God does this very deliberately. He makes parallels between the kingdom of God and the kingdom of Babylon. Babylon is like the evil version, and the kingdom of God, Israel, is the good version. And so Jesus is again saying the kingdom of heaven starts off as this one seed, but then it becomes enormous and fills up the whole earth, which in and of itself is an amazing prophecy. But it fills up the whole earth, and then once it has, it will be this mystery Babylon, horrible thing that is so hypocritical and against God and causes God's name to be blasphemed among the Gentiles, and only the remnant will get it. Anyway, so that it's a parallel to that idea that Jesus is kind of revealing a mystery about how this will work and saying it all in advance, which I think is so amazing that anyone who really understands this, they ought to know that God is real. Anyway, God bless you guys. I hope that was it. There's just this one little reference I wanted to put here. While I was writing this, I noticed that in Genesis 18:6, Sarah also, Abraham hurried to the tent and told Sarah, quickly make ready 3 measures, seahs, of fine meal and knead it and make cakes. I personally think that is the positive parallel. That is that's the Israel version, because there's just like there's the tree of knowledge of good and evil versus the tree of life, just like there's the tree that Nebuchadnezzar was in the book of Daniel, there's also the tree that Ezekiel speaks of, which is the tree of Israel and is a good tree. I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, God bless you guys. Bye.